Hi everybody, hey, how are you all? And welcome back to my channel, Tarot with Anne-Marie, where we are looking at some tarot twists tonight. So, the Seven of Swords, which we did on Thursday. So if you missed that one, go back into the playlist and you can find all about that card. And this is how to read that card. Now, I use a method that is very unique to me, and I know that people fuse cards together. Hi, Zoe. I know that people put cards together. How are you? But when you combine a major arcana card and a minor arcana card, and we are looking at minor arcana card tonight, you will get a very different twist on both of those cards. Individually, they mean something. Fuse them together and everything slots into place. So, who have we got tonight? We've got Zoe. How lovely. Everybody's on YouTube. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, we'll give it a couple of minutes and just give people time to join us. How have you been, Zoe? Are you well? How's the tarot going? Is it going well? Yeah? Enjoying your deck and learning lots of new things? So, yeah, good. You're making chicken nuggets. That's not tarot. Good. Chicken nuggets sounds lovely. I'm coming to yours. Right. My cushion's just fallen down on the floor there. Sorry about that. Oh, here we go. The story of the chair. I got my refund finally after 6 months. If you've heard the saga of my chair, I ordered a chair just for my studio, and it was broken. And they tried to say, oh, you can put a bit of glue on. The arm was broken, and it was like a gaming chair, very, very comfortable instead of this thing that I've got. I've got a big chair in my office, which is where I spend a lot of my time. So it's one of those things when I was trying to get a replacement. Anyway, we are going to delve into, hello, Carla, how are you? Yeah, how are you doing? Let's put you on there. Hi Carla, hope it's going well for you. How are you getting on with your tarot? So, let's dive into the Seven of Swords and how we can read it. Now, on the screen we've got the Chariot, so we're going to fuse the energy from the Seven of Swords into the Chariot. And every week I say to you, we need to have a question. It's no good just looking at it and going, could mean this, could mean that. You're welcome to suggest a question. But I always try and say, you know, everybody does love, so let's actually look at the person that's having the reading and let's say that they are saying life is full of bumps and they don't know what's going on. There's a lot of changes, some of them good, some of them they're worried about. So they're just asking, how do things look for me, say between now and in a month's time? So let's take them up to the end of June, beginning of July. So here we've got that question, the question being, how are things going for me? Well, if this came up, Seven of Swords is the card that we're focusing on, and we'll keep changing the minor. Let me say that again. We are going to stick with the minor arcana card and we'll keep changing the major arcana card. So the Chariot. The Chariot is Cancerians, of course. It's also the time of Cancer, which is 21st of June to the 20th of July. And it's also to do with our spiritual self. But it's also the fourth house in astrology. And you know I use lots of astrology in my readings, and I recommend that you try to do the same because you will get so much more out of it. So we could say that maybe that, let's call it, what should we call her? Lucy. We'll say that Lucy's asked, how are things going to go for me between now and the beginning of July or the end of June? And it's like, okay, you may be doing a U-turn in different directions. And, you know, this solely looks as if, number one, are you a Cancerian? And she might say no. And so you say, okay, right, This is to do with domestic matters because it's the fourth house in astrology, which is about our domestic matters. So she might say, yes, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm looking for a new job, and it depends upon where that job lands as to where I might move. So there may be a U-turn going on here. And the U-turn, okay, what do we mean by that? Maybe she's actually going to go back to somewhere she was before. Now, I know the Hermit's a card of the past, and so is the Three of Swords, and we've got a few other cards, like the Six of Cups, that we could talk about. But a U-turn, going back to something. Now, Seven of Swords, everyone always thinks, oh, sneaky, not so great. Maybe it's an opportunity here to actually go back to something and put your foot in the door while the door is slightly open and, wade in. So what I would say is this is something about home life, and that she may end up actually doing a U-turn, going back to something she was doing before. I would also say that this is something where the lovely lady that we are reading for probably wants her home life to actually be settled. Doesn't look very settled at the moment. A lot is on her mind. She's got to do some things, take them with her, leave some things behind. And it's also, everything is not as it seems. She may need to actually think on her toes, as it were. She mustn't miss an opportunity. The other thing this is about is transport, of course, on the road transport. The Chariot, don't forget that. It's a card of being on the road. It's a card of talking about matters, lorries, buses, anything like that. New car, old car, actually. Maybe I want to actually go back and get a car that I used to have. Sometimes people say, oh, I loved my old Volkswagen Polo. I want to get one of those. Who knows? But it's something to do with either domestic matters or on the road. And of course, dispatch. The spiritual side, things are weighing heavily on her mind. Seven of Swords. Sometimes she's not quite sure what's happening. So that could be how we would answer our question, what's happening? Lots up in the air. Lots of thinking, got to take opportunities that are being offered, things about transport, things about home, things domestic matters, linked to that card, the Chariot. Okay, let's say that this has come up in the position of her physical self, representing her. It's not outside influences. It's nothing going on here about relationships or anything like that. We're keeping it really simple. If we're looking at relationships, it's kind of easy. And everyone's sort of got examples of relationships when it comes to showing you tarot and TikTok and YouTube and all the social media platforms. I wanted to do something where it was a bit harder for you that would help you, where you'd go, well, they're asking about themselves. They're not asking about someone else. They don't know what to say. So that's one of those. By the way, there is a blog on my website this week. Well, there are two, all about if you are suffering from feeling insecurities about being a tarot reader and the things that might be putting you off, and how I answer that for you. They are just very simple sentences, and they are tips that I would give to my readers when I was running my psychic platform that will help you to be able to cut through that mire in our minds, that swamp of doubt, of not feeling good enough, not feeling you're comparing yourself to whoever. And I put in there, as you'll see, famous psychic. I didn't want to suggest anybody, because we all are in different parts of the world, and even if we're all in the same place, someone may have a very different version of that. But we've seen someone and we're comparing to them, and we are feeling that our readings are nothing like theirs. Good. You're meant to be unique. I was a real sort of, I really wanted the reader to enjoy the experience and the customer to enjoy this experience. And the one way to do that was so that the reader felt confidence. It wasn't about their technique. And people might say, did you want everyone to read like me? Absolutely not. No, I wanted people to be them, to feel comfortable. They're not going to feel comfortable if they're trying to imitate what I do. It's the same as I say, I used to go to readers that were psychics or mediums. Not that I particularly wanted that, it's just kind of what was available and somebody said they were good. But I wouldn't imitate what they're doing because I wouldn't call myself a psychic or a medium in that way that it's understood by the public. It might cause people to be thinking that, I'm going to do something I'm not. We all use those tools, but I don't delve into it and kind of go in a narrow sort of direction and niche it down to mediumship or anything like that. Sometimes things come in, sometimes things don't. So it'd be very disappointing if somebody was solely looking for that and you weren't clear. So don't be afraid to say what you are and what you are not. And don't feel that other psychics, if they're good, would want you to be like them. And just want you to be happy, to be comfortable, to enjoy, and to share what you're good at and do it in your authentic way, in your own personality. And nobody's going to be reading like you. And that's a good thing, because variety is the spice of everything. Okay, let's say that our lovely lady has asked a question and is saying this time, right, okay, well, I think I might know what's happening sort of in my home life. And yes, if I do get this position of going back to my old job, so let's say they're revealing that to you. But, I really don't know if I should move back to the neighbourhood that I was living in. And the cards are saying here that you want to do a U-turn in your mind, lovely lady. Okay, and yeah, the Seven of Swords is saying she'd quite like to go back to that area, but the Fool is there. So the Fool is telling us that in actual fact, really, she should be looking for something new. It might not be that neighbourhood, it might be that neighbourhood. That's not what it's saying. Depends on how she said it. So if she said, I want to go and live in that neighbourhood that's just outside London, Wimbledon, it might say, well, look a little bit further than Wimbledon, there's something new. Or she might say, I want to go and live in Wimbledon, but in a particular house that I used to live in. Do you think I'm going to be able to go back and move into that property? No. You might get to live in Wimbledon because she's asked about the house in Wimbledon. Something is new and something is going back. So it's like there's lots going on there. It can be confusing, but it's also a brand new start. And yeah, she's really not sure. And this is feeling as if, we've got to sneak in there. We've got to kind of change camps. We've got to do a U-turn pretty damn quickly. And we've also got to take our chance. And we don't tell too many people about it. We just move like lightning and go for it. That's what that Seven of Swords is actually saying to us. Okay, right. Just a reminder, here's some keywords from the Seven of Swords. So we can see it's about ducking and diving and perseverance and making a U-turn. So the Fool card is the one we've just done. And let's keep the question going from the same person saying, what do you think is going to happen in the next month? I've got all sorts happening and I don't know whether to actually go back to my old neighbourhood, go back to my old job. It depends on whether I get that job, as to whether or not I move there. What do you think? And it's like, look, it's saying that Seven of Swords, the communication that's coming from others, the Lover's card is not just her in the card. We've got people talking here. And If you look at the Lovers card, you can see that there's this beautiful angel, and then there's some clouds, and then there's a mountain. And if we look at Eve on the left side and Adam on the right, she's looking to the angel to give her the answers. If it's a man, he's looking at her. What do you think? He's not looking at the angel or divine inspiration. So what does that tell us? She's not sure. Okay, so in communication that's going on from herself, i.e. the angel, her higher self, her spiritual self, and other people, she's getting conflicting advice. What she's got to do is just snap to it. Work out. Seven's a card of progress, but this is about mental agility, seizing the moment and going for it. And you might go, I can't do that. Why not? Oh, it's a bit sneaky, it's a bit underhand. I don't think that I should be doing things like that. Well, in actual fact, everybody's got to sometimes put themselves into a position where they are putting themselves first, putting themselves forwards, using the opportunities, pulling a few strings. Maybe it's actually communicating with somebody from that old company. Hey, how are you? How are things? Wonder if there's any chance that, is there any work going? Yeah, okay, put in a good word for me. That's a good example of what the Seven of Swords is about. I know that people think it's a card of lies. It can be. And if this was a question being asked, let's jump to that now. Do a romance one just for you. And somebody says, oh, I've just met somebody and they seem really lovely. But you know what? I'm worried about the fact that I really like them and I don't know them. So what do you see? And it's like, okay, feels like this person may actually be looking at this opportunity. What are they feeling about me? There are no feelings there. It's the Seven of Swords. Swords is communication, and swords is the way in which the mind is working, our thoughts, their thoughts. So we could say, I can tell you what they're thinking or what they might be saying. It's like, oh, they were really nice. Seven of Swords, big red flag. Hold on a minute. They were really nice. Seven of Swords, you're not getting all of it. They may be telling you one thing and about to do something else. Oh yeah, I'm staying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then ghosting you. You never know. Okay, why did I say that? Seven of Swords is whipping away when the opportunity comes. So whatever they're saying, they're probably going to go and do something else. So really and truly, it's not about being fed lies. They're probably intending at the time to actually, depends what happens. Maybe they should have said that. So that's what I would say about the Seven of Swords. Sometimes people can be really telling you what they think you want to hear, or they can be deliberately messing with you. So let's have a look. Okay, Justice card. Again, let's keep it on a relationship, okay? You make it easy a little bit for tonight, because this is about relationships. So again, let's say somebody asks, please tell me, I've met somebody, I don't know anything about them, they appear really nice, they seem very balanced, they seem good conversation, and I enjoyed myself. So I'm wondering whether or not I should be thinking about the fact that I'd like to actually get to know this person more. What do you see? And you see the Seven of Swords and you see the Justice card. Justice card is about relationships, it's about balance, it's about fairness. The Seven of Swords just means that there's nothing that's actually stabilized. There's no emotions there, there's no action there. There is also nothing that's materialized. Remember, pentacles it's earth. So that's material matters, things that are tangible, stuff that's happened. Nothing's happening here. It's all a bit sort of in the head, thinking, thoughts. And Seven of Swords, you can see, just changing your mind super quick. So I would actually say have a lovely time, but don't rely on this person, because there's no more. We'd need to look at the surrounding cards and the position in the spread. Incidentally, if you want to actually join me, you're very, very So this is the link. If you want to join me as a guest, feel free to just tap on that and come in and talk about tarot. So, the World card and the Seven of Swords. So, what could we say here? Let's say again that this is somebody that's asking about their world and their upside down, and they want to know, oh, can you see how things are going to go for me in the next month? Everything's happening, but I don't feel grounded and I haven't got anything concluded yet. You know, I'm looking for somewhere to live, but that will depend on what job I get, what kind of job I'm looking for. I'm open-minded. What do you see for me? So everything's up in the air. Everything is up in the air. The World card is saying that our client has actually completed a cycle and that they are restless mentally, and they are looking to actually hop onto the next sort of bus and go with that flow and that journey. So in this case, Seven of Swords is saying they really are actually making progress by saying they've reached completion, time to do something else, very open with their thinking, very open with their communication. At any point, something could happen and they'll go for it. But we're being told they'll go for it in their head, and usually Seven of Swords being a card of progress, it probably will happen. But we'd need, again, to see surrounding cards. That's where swords are difficult. And this is where people say, oh, they're definitely going to do this, definitely going to do that. No, they're thinking it. They haven't done anything yet unless it's a conversation. Conversation was a bit like the lovers. That is a conversation, based on a conversation. But still, people can say things and may not do them. All right? Okay, so if you're struggling, I have got PDFs on the website, as you can see, and this is one of those that tells you very quickly lots of things, yes and no, the actual symbology, and all the bits and pieces about colours, numbers, what's going on in that card. Very brief key points, but pointing them out to you. So if you're interested in that, that's my PDF. So here we've got another card for you, the Death card and the Seven of Swords. Let's say again, somebody is asking the big question, okay, what's happening for me when it comes to my life in the next month? There's a lot going on, but nothing is tangible and everything's up in the air. And it's just saying that through the many, many changes and transformations, that they'll feel this very deeply. And the reason I talk about feelings is the Death card. Death card is linked to Scorpio. So anything with Scorpio is intense in emotions. It's affecting their comfort zone. It's affecting their life, because their life is all about how they feel about things. So they're in a lot of different sort of stages here, going through a transformation, going with the flow, but actually almost wanting to run with it, but feeling, gosh, everything's changing. I want it to change, but how is it all going to pan out? Those kind of things. We can't avoid them. That's life. So this is the time where that person is probably saying, what do you think is going to happen? It's like there's going to be many, many changes. You're going to feel it deeply, and you are going to want to constantly keep changing your mind. Seven of Swords is a card of definitely feeling that you're always about to do something, but something comes in and you might just completely change your mind based on that very thing, which is, I'm going for it. I saw my chance, saw my opportunity, I took it. Let's say it's somebody that's saying, well, You know, do you think it's a new job? Yep, there's going to be changes. And those changes, do you think I'm going back to where I was, or it's something new? Well, based on the death card, transformation would actually make us feel that it's not going back. Because remember, transformation is about change. If it was to go back, there would be some almighty changes in what this person used to do. So maybe for the good or for the bad, we'd need to look at the surrounding cards to see what's going on there. Any questions, anybody? Very quiet tonight. Yeah, I know it's a bank holiday in the UK. When? Yesterday. And also it was a big Memorial Day in the States. So hopefully you'll be watching this on the catch-ups. Now, let me talk to you about that. Here we've got this. So now you can see that I put a playlist together on YouTube, and they are podcasts. So we've got a whole line of Tuesdays tarot twists, and if you go into YouTube, that's exactly what it looks like. Can you see that? Organising them for you. Most of them are going in there. I haven't got them all done yet. It just takes a bit of time. There's an awful lot of lessons since October. One a week on a card of tarot twists. So that's the playlist. And this is my YouTube channel, so that's where you can find it, but I've organised it so it's down as a podcast. So you've got playlists and we've got podcasts. So let's show you the podcast for Thursday's lessons. That's what you're looking for, the Learn Tarot podcast, and you will be able to see the actual playlist looking something like this. There you go, all in order, and that one is actually complete up until this week, I think. So everything's in order there. So hopefully you'll enjoy your podcasts all on YouTube. The difference is YouTube does a podcast and it's video. Right, so let's just help. I have something else I want to show you, which is another card. And so we're back with the cards. What have we got here? Let's do this one. Okay, so what's happening to me? Everything's up in the air. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. Have you got any advice? Do you think things will happen in the next month? Looking at this, nothing is concrete. It actually looks as if our person really does need to be in a community that is, I say that because the star card is a card of a community, and the ideal place for our client is probably in a community where there's a lot of communication. How do we know that? Seven of Swords, communication card, because it's swords. Seven of Swords, perhaps wanting more variety out of that community. So what's going to happen? Feel that there's a lot of changes based on the community. It doesn't feel like anything about going back here. This feels about healing and moving on and going with people that are like-minded, that think like you. Why think? Swords. So, you know, it's like, oh, do you see me going back to my old job? No. Based on that, why? Quite simply, you're healing, you're moving on, you're going into a community where you can expand, where there's much more variety going on. So the neighbourhood, or the actual sort of the culture of the place, is definitely going to be something of a change for you. Seven of Swords is all about, you know, going with the flow and making sure that you are moving forwards rapidly. Okay, let's see what this one is. Temperance card, same question. What do you see for me going forwards? How are things? Quite simply, it looks here as if in the next month A person is ducking and diving quite a bit, but they're trying to actually use what they've got and bring everything together. There could be some international travel or some connections with people from abroad. Temperance card, of course, links to long distance travel. Why? Its astrological association is Sagittarius. But if you want a nice, easy way of looking at it, look at the wings. Think of aeroplane wings. So always helps to know it's flights linked abroad. So in some way, looks here as if there is, as I said, it's linked to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is, in what it means in tarot, it's the 9th house, and it's linked to higher learning, further knowledge, education. So it's like, right, okay, you've got some skills here and you're balancing them, and you're certainly bringing skills that are probably fusing together to become something incredibly strong. A bit like I would say when people learn tarot, to learn tarot and to learn astrology, or learn tarot and learn numerology, or all of them, it's definitely going to make the fact that you are now skilled in a very different way to what you were when you first started with just tarot cards. 7 of Swords, what does it mean? It means ducking and diving, seeing your opportunity, going with the flow of things, going for that opportunity. Maybe somebody dropped out of an experience of that, maybe there was a tarot conference abroad, you see, and someone wasn't able to go. And now you've got the opportunity. 7 of Swords. It's kind of going through that door and going, ha, made it in, after all. Unfortunately for somebody else, they're disappointed, but I've got the chance now. That's what it's about. But it's also connected to, it's definitely about making something that you've already got and building on that and making sure that you are able to use it all. It's a bit like making a cake. You make a cake, because you use the ingredients. It's the ingredients you've got that make the cake. So it's baking something, making something, tempering something to make it better, to make it stronger, to make it, to fuse things together. If you use this method, this is exactly what I'm saying on the Mindset Tarot cards. If you temper your readings by using your major arcana and your minor arcana, and you know your numbers a little, one's new beginnings, number 1 is new beginnings, in case you thought I said wands. Quite often that can get distorted. So yeah, number 1 is new beginning, number 2 is partnerships, number 3 is creativity, and so on. And so 7 is a card of progress. It really is. But 7 of Swords is a card of many things. Well, when we're actually using what we know here, based on the question where somebody's saying, do you see me being okay? Do you see that I like it? Well, it probably requires an awful lot of thought. 7 of Swords, lots of thought. Not just ace, just a idea. There's a lot of thinking. And you might be quite sort of, scattered which way shall I go? But seize the moment. Go for it. And will I do okay? Temperance, Sagittarius, higher learning, knowledge, education, expansion. Wow, yes. You are furthering yourself. You are developing devout knowledge. It's wonderful. Okay, I told you about the podcast. What do you think? Yeah? It took an awful long time for me and Onda to organise that, but hopefully now that it's sorted, it's just a case of finishing the playlist, as in on Tarot Twists, and then updating it every week, which is, it's a lot of work going into all of this so that you have got that complete list, whether you want to listen to it, or whether you want to watch it. And of course, why not go onto my website? Because on the website, you're able to actually look at the courses. So let's have a quick look at that. So this is my website, and this is where you can actually book the courses. So I'm bringing in this. There's lots of mini courses on there. You can choose which one you want. But the method that I'm using is introduced in my signature course, Part 1, Intermediate. Part 2 uses an extension of what I've taught you and further techniques and extending upon what I'm teaching you in Part 1. So, that's just one of the things that you can do. But it really is a great course, very exciting, and you will definitely learn something you've never known before. So I do suggest you have a look at that one. And my other little thing that I want to talk to you about is we have added pet astrology to the website. So if you want, you can have an astrological report just on your pet. Now, let me tell you, this is Jack and this is Jill, and there's their sign, they're Pisces. So you can read in my blog this week why these twins are nothing alike at all. Not even, they look alike, but look at Jill, tiny, like a doll. Jack's more robust. He's got slight wave in his actual hair. She's got straighter hair. Why so different when they're both Pisces? And this is Minnie, my other dog, and she's Taurus. So if you read the article about astro twins, it will help you understand your pets and why they behave like they do, even if they are twins. So I really suggest you have a look at that one. It's a great read and it's lots and lots of fun. Okay, so any questions, anybody? No? Okay, right, we'll do one more, and I know, here we go. I think that we should do this one. Okay, this is quite a big one, and I've kind of saved it sort of for the end. For those coming in, I'm going to make it a relationship question. Your dog's a Cancerian. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Well, water sign, loving, kind. You have to have a pet report. It's absolutely fascinating. Go and have a look at them, Zoe, as in on there. And do your own astrological natal chart. You know that's a big thing of mine. But the pet report, absolutely lovely. Cancerians, very, very loyal, very, very deep, very, very empathetic, probably sensual mood all the time, Zoe, and probably loves being with you. You're Virgo, aren't you, Zoe, if I remember rightly? Correct me if I'm wrong. So, I'm really pleased. Cancerian dog. My first dog was Cancerian. Pudsley, I miss him. He was with us a long time. My little Bichon Frise. So, by the way, Jack, Jill and Minnie, we do know their star signs, but I also have written a blog on, we will be putting that up, but read Astro Twins, because it really explains why they're so different, even though they're born minutes apart. Even if you read about that, yeah, you're Virgo, will be very, very wholesome and grounded for your little Cancerian doggy. You really will. It's the comfort, of being around somebody that's got that groundedness and that earthiness, and you're dutiful, So there you are. That's very good for a Cancerian stability, yeah? And also, Cancerians are your best friend if you give them a nice meal. So don't forget, that applies to all of us, okay? So if you want to impress a Cancerian, give them a nice meal. All right? Always remember that. All right, so I hope you like the new pet astrology. I loved it. And it was like, that's why Jill's like that. And that's why Jack's like that. And that's why Minnie's the way she is, because she's a Taurian. So, yeah, I've got 11 dogs in total, so we'll be going through them all. We did Ben, who was Scorpio. And we didn't know for sure that Ben's Scorpio, but I'm utterly convinced, as in when we went to the vet, rescue animals. So I've done an article, I haven't published it on the website, about if you are not sure of your pet's sign and you really want to get a natal chart and you think, well, how can I don't even know, when they were born, as in I don't know the time. Well, most people don't know the actual time as people. They might know the date. I can assure you that in many cultures, people don't even know what date they're born. And quite often they'll say to me, oh gosh, put me down as a Cancerian, that's what's on my passport. But in actual fact, I think I'm a Libran because that's my mum, that's what she told me. But, they got it wrong, as in when they registered my birth in the village that I'm from. You see? So it's full of exciting things that, you might go, well, how can I? I've definitely put something on there. Bear with me for 1 second. Can you believe it? Right, somebody trying to actually FaceTime me, as in, nothing to do with me recording. I think sometimes you just get a whole day of numbers that you don't recognise from overseas, just kind of trying to actually get you to pick up the call, then whatever they call it, machines. And it's like, no, don't do that. I'm actually online. So, Devil and 7 of Swords. Let's say they say, okay, I'm in a relationship and I'm feeling a bit insecure. I can't put my finger on it, but I just have a feeling and I just don't know. Nothing they've said, nothing they've done, but in fact, saying all the right things. But how is it going? Well, you're probably in a place of emotional bondage when you've got the Devil card and the 7 of Swords. So, temptation's there, isn't it? It's probably going to be a bit of fun. And when it stops being fun, move on. Why? Because the Devil card is physical and mental pleasures. And so, based on that, physical, you know what I mean. I don't mean they're going to do things with you all the time. They are going to be looking for physical affection and probably off the next day doing something else. No commitment. I didn't actually put any boundaries in here. I didn't put any contract in here. If you're misunderstanding me, that's your fault. That's kind of what that pair would mean. And the Devil card is saying probably that one of them is actually saying that. Now, if it comes up in her position, she's the one. If physically this comes up as her, it's not happening to her. It's her that's doing it. Friends with benefits kind of thing. If it's coming up as in another place, which is outside influences, they're the ones doing it. Somebody asks the question, you get this pair and they're saying, can I trust them? Nope. And what, really, can we trust ourselves? We'd never know ourselves completely, do we? We're always in a position of being changing, transforming, going with something else, never say never, never say always, that kind of thing. So, trust isn't everything. People put a lot of emphasis upon that word. And I think they feel better when you actually say, why don't you enjoy it and actually not worry about that? But do be realistic that if it's going to actually cause you a lot of pain, that maybe you're not going to get the outcome you want, accept it. Once you accept it, you'll know whether to actually go, I'm the one that's going to pull away from this, or I'm actually going to really enjoy it until it doesn't go anywhere. Can you rely upon this? No, because Seven of Swords, somebody's constantly upping and going off in another direction. Might start things, not finish things. That kind of energy, isn't it? Okay, so I am going to cut it short tonight. Normally I do well over, I always intend to do about 40 minutes, so cut it short, and I always go up to an hour. So yeah, not many people around tonight, not any questions, absolutely lovely. And yeah, Seven of Swords, people look at it as, it means lies, it means deceit. It can, and in this case, yeah, but who? So you need to actually have a spread, like I do on my website, as in I teach those courses where I say to you, you will not go wrong if you use this spread, because you will know whether it is her or him or her, or him and him, or family or work people, colleagues, your co-workers, your boss, who? Look at this as a work question. Let's do that one. Same pair in front of us. My boss, what do they think of me? They think a lot of things. How do we know? Seven of Swords. Are they good? Possibly. Well, are they going to promote me? Seven of Swords, sneaky. No. You're being played a bit here. Yeah? Can you see why? It's like you can't believe anything they say. And if you can actually go, oh, well, they're probably, whatever they're saying, they're lying. Sometimes people don't lie, they talk because they see it at the time, and then they change their mind. Think of the Seven of Swords like that. It's much kinder for you and for everybody if we don't use things like that's fibs, that's lies, that's deceit. It's not usually intentional. People are a bit too lazy to go to the trouble of lying deliberately. They'll probably say it and then go, gosh, I don't feel like that anymore. I'm off to do this now. I don't owe you anything. It was nice while it lasted. If we can think of it like that, we won't be so hurt. We won't be so upset, and we won't be so obsessed with everything. All right. So till next time, everybody. I hope you like the new pet astrology. And yeah, it's a report that you can get a PDF. So go and have a look on the website. Very, very cheap, but find out all about your pooch, and keep looking at the blogs as I'm explaining what I'm doing on there, as in different ways. And yeah, it's a real treat to actually look at what goes on with twins, astro twins, minutes apart, and why they're so different, but it's all revealed in the blog. Okay, I'll see you soon. And yeah, that will be Tuesday, won't it, when we will be doing the Eight of Swords. We haven't seen our passionate Saju, we've not seen Sherry. Hope that they're doing well. And the lovely Zoe, lovely moderator and student too. And she's having her chicken nuggets, as she's told me. So until next time, everybody, I'll play you out with our usual. And yeah, have a beautiful weekend. Oh, my screen's just moved.